Okay, so good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for joining. And today's agenda is that we are going to start. So before starting that, I just wanted to give a quick what about the Milan, because this program today is hosted by Milan, and Milan Cultural Association is a volunteer-driven non-profit association of people from India living in the United States. This is a community service organization celebrating the traditional art and culture of India with mainstream America and our Indian diaspora. Milan has various chapters and members across the United States of America. Milan believes in sharing and caring for the mainstream American issues, a community we live in, and also support, collaborates, and participate in all the mainstream and Indian diaspora events to foster constructive partnership and interactive relationship with mainstream and local community. So this is all about Milan, and now I would like to begin this program. So first of all, I would like to request our Milan chairman, Sharma ji, to introduce our today's attorney Rachna Khanna and attorney Thomas Ram, and then we will go with the questions directly. So over to Sharma ji.
Thank you very much, Hari. Hari Sharma is our Milan president for the Connecticut chapter. And today we are just talking about, certain issues regarding H-1B visas, green card, naturalization, asylums, certain all these type of issues. But actually, if we look into it, from President Donald Trump imposing, major restrictions on H-1 visas, on the immigrations and all that, and our newly elected, president assuring, some new, issues easing out, for these, immigration issues. But the turmoil which has been created, because of the general election, everything seems to be, at a very guessing stage. But, whatever will be the situation, which comes out of these elections, the basic thing which we should all be knowing, which involves, the legalities of the issues, that what happens, when happens, how, happens, when, I'll get my EIDs, when this happens to H-1 visas. So these type of issues, basic knowledge, everyone should know. So keeping that issues, in our mind, we have requested our esteemed, two attorneys to take some time, out of their very busy schedule to be with us. And we are thankful to them that, they are with us, this evening. And it's really an honored privilege for me to introduce our two attorneys. The first one, born in New Delhi, India, attorney Rachna Khanna, with a law degree from Western New England University School of Law, is a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. She is an active member of the Indian Association of Central Connecticut and was a featured speaker at the Indian Association of Central Connecticut's Women Empowerment 2020 event. Attorney Rachna serves on the board of a nonprofit supporting people with the developmental disabilities. She is also a board member of the Barring Business School at the University of Hartford in Connecticut. She has a very busy practice as RK Law Group at Manchester, Connecticut. Our second attorney, is with the 37 years of experience is Attorney Thomas Rome. He holds a degree, from Yale and George Washington University, and has been practicing immigration law since 1983 in New England, New York, California, and nationwide. He assists individuals, families, and the businesses in a broad range of immigration matters. Attorney Rome is currently practicing in New York and also in Connecticut. So it's my honor privilege now, to pass it on to our attorneys. And it's for
Thank
you
you,
now
Mr.
to
Sharma,
take
and
over.
thank you, Mr. Hari Sharma. We want to be very quick and get to everybody's questions. We're not here to talk about ourselves, but about your issues. So today, I have a few questions that already came to us ahead of time. So I'm going to go dive right into these issues because they might be your issues as well. And Attorney Rome and me are going to have a conversation about it. So I can ask him the question and he can answer it, and we want this to be very informal. So question number one that came through pre-registration, Attorney Rome, is
for a
yes.
minute, I just wanted to, somehow your voice again started goggling. I just wanted to ask, Sharma ji, are you able to hear Attorney Rachna Khanna properly, or Attorney Thomas? Sharma ji, are you able to?
Mm-hmm. Did I miss anything?
No. Okay. Can you please speak again, Rachna ji?
Yes. Are people in the audience able to hear us?
Yeah, I can check with the audience. Each audience is able to hear, but I'm not able to. I have to unmute them. But I just wanted to check that if. Can you guys post me in the chat if you guys are able to hear? Anybody can post in the chat if you are able to hear. I got the message, and not able, Hari can't hear, not able to hear clearly. So I'm getting that message that they are not able to hear.
Yes, some disturbance. Disturbance.
Can you please speak again one more time?
Okay.
No, Sharma ji, can you just hold on for a minute? I'm going to check with Sharma ji. Rachna, can you please speak? Attorney Thomas or Attorney Rachna Khanna, can you please speak?
So.
Okay, because I want to hear their voice. Can you please speak, Attorney Rachna Khanna or Attorney Thomas? Okay, let me see whether they are able to speak. Looks like they have dropped the call, so they must be joining. Please allow a few minutes. So, okay, let me unmute. Okay, ask.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
Your voice is still goggling somehow.
We're going to try to sign in from Attorney Rome's computer to see if that voice is better.
Yes, looks like me. I hope that you are not in the two Zooms call, because sometimes this creates the background.
No,
Can you please speak?
One computer. I can log out and log back in.
Can you please? Because I'm asking guys. Yeah, because I'm getting the feedback from the others that they are not able to hear us. I got the comment, and yes, we had muted all non-speakers. Sorry for the interruption and technical issue, but hopefully this should be resolved, because we were clearly talking actually half an hour ago, everything was going well, but somehow we never know. And sorry for the interruption. Sorry, we will definitely extend a few minutes in order to make sure that all the questions are addressed, because I am getting some of the questions from different social media and trying to track all those. And certainly we had discussion with our attorneys, and if there are any questions which could not address today, in case, we will provide all the details, and our attorney are graciously agreed that they will take questions and make sure that those questions are addressed, but we will try our best today.
I think both of them are coming now.
Okay, we are back in. Can you hear us from? Oh. So
Maybe turn yours off for a second.
If are you okay? I think background noise is gone. I'm going to ask to unmute.
Put that somewhere.
okay. Are you able to hear us, see us now? Still. Maybe
Can you turn it all
Okay.
the way up?
Okay. Hari Bhai, can you hear us now?
Much better. Perfect, perfect, I believe.
Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. Please go ahead.
Okay, so we are going to get straight to the questions that have been sent to us so that everybody can be on this. First question, client's mother came to visit them in the US and she overstayed her visa. So the question is, if my parent comes to the US and the visa was for 3 months and the person overstayed, then is that going to affect their green card application or their status later on? So Attorney Rome.
Yes, Attorney Khanna. So the basic answer to that question is that an overstay of a visa by an immediate relative will never bar a subsequent application for adjustment of status. So one needn't be too concerned with an overstay if you are petitioning for an immediate relative, that is a child or a parent. And by child, there's a certain definition of what constitutes a child. But for parents, they are welcome to apply for adjustment of status with an overstay, provided that they entered the country legally with a valid visa.
Okay. So what we've also done in instances is because of COVID, people's parents have come. We've helped them do an extension of their visitor visas. So one thing we can do for you is we can extend your visitor visa, keep you here legally. While that extension is going on, your status is legal. If you're able to take a flight in the meantime, you can go back. Even if you haven't received the extension, that's fine. You can still travel back while the extension is being applied for. So you can extend a 6-month stay into another 6-month stay and be here for 12 months, even though normally a tourist visa is only good for 6 months. And this is being very routinely done during the COVID time. So question number 2, parents come to visit you and they only stay here for 2 months and go back, and they've done that for the past few years, but now you want to file for citizenship for them. So Attorney Rome, are we able to do that?
Now you mean these are parents who have
green cards?
A green card.
Yes.
And as most everyone will know, to maintain your green card, you have to be physically present in the United States for half a year plus 1 day.
6 months and 1 day.
Yes. So the unfortunate news is that they if they're only staying for 2 months and going back, they're going to forfeit their ability to keep the green card. And so we need to avoid that. As a result, we need to encourage people, if they want to keep their green card, they must stay 6 months.
So that, did everybody understand? If your parents are only coming here for the summer months and they're only staying here and then going back, they're keeping their green card active, and that's fine, but that's not going to make them eligible for naturalization or citizenship, because in order for them to be naturalized, they have to stay here 6 months and 1 day in a 12-month period for them to be able to apply for citizenship. So the 2-month visits will maybe keep their green card active unless they get caught, and then the green card will be taken away, but it will not get them citizenship. If you want them to get citizenship, they have to live here for 6 months and 1 day.
Yes. And in terms of returning to the country, coming and going, we have found that enforcement has been much more stringent in the last couple of years. And the Customs and Border Protection people at the airports are paying attention to it now in a much more applied way than was previously.
So they're catching you if you're just coming for 2 months, and they're questioning why you have a green card.
Yes.
And they might take your green card away if you're not staying here.
They might do that. They will refer the case to USCIS for
further review. Okay, so that leads to the next question. What if my parents have a green card, but they don't want to live here and they want to give up the green card, but I'm their only child, or I am their daughter or son, and I want to eventually have them come live with me. So if I was the son or daughter, can I let my parents give up the green card because they don't want to live here, but I want to have the option to move them here years down the road when they're older.
Yes, as a family's needs change with age, with the age of the parents, you can make different choices at different times. You can apply for adjustment of status as many times as you like. By the way, that also puts me in mind of what happens when an application for adjustment of status is denied for some other reason. Maybe there wasn't enough supporting evidence. Talking about other ways to adjust status. It could be through employment, it could be through marriage. If you are denied your I-485 adjustment of status, you can reapply at any time.
So if I was denied my green card application once, I can still apply again.
Yes.
And if my parents were denied, or my brother or my sister or somebody, I can apply again.
Or if
that doesn't disqualify.
No, or if you acquire a green card and later lose it because you're not here, or for any other reason, most other reasons, there are some disqualifying events, but most other reasons are allow you to apply as many times as you wish.
Wonderful.
Now,
I mean, there's catches to all this. These are we are not giving legal advice. This is just a disclaimer. Each situation is different. You would have to call an attorney, an immigration lawyer, any immigration lawyer for your specific cases. So we do want to put a disclaimer that these are general answers, but situations could be different. And every case has some facts and nuances that you would need a lawyer to look at to get your exact answer.
And Attorney Khan, along those lines, I want to add that if you are denied, you can appeal the denial internally within USCIS. They have an internal appeals process. You can also appeal to the Board of Immigration Appeals in Fairfax, Virginia, which, I'm sorry, Falls Church, Virginia, which is a different process. And so if for whatever reason you've applied, maybe you didn't use an attorney the first time around and something fell short of the full package of evidence, you should consult an attorney, because there may be a way to save the case before an absolutely final adjudication is made in your case. And
so this is similar to, I can take the case of the client we both had, who was legally married and the husband was denied a green card. And we both were able to file a waiver for this particular client. We haven't heard back, but we made like literally a box of evidence. Remember that client? We can't take a name, but you know, we had at least thousands of pages of WhatsApp messages that we used as evidence to prove that they were married. So attorneys have ways of taking evidence that you don't think exists and saving your case from being denied. So that's part of what you're saying.
Immigration law is remarkably complicated. It may seem simple for most cases that you all are encountering, but it is often complicated, and has become more complicated, I would say, in the past few years. With the new administration, one thing is certain. There are many things that are uncertain, but one thing is certain is that immigration will continue to be a central issue in American life and in American political life, and we feel that it's an exciting time to be practicing immigration law, because there's an opportunity to help people in the immigrant communities that never existed before, or the crisis, if you will, has heightened our passion for what we do.
Okay, so I get a question, and I get these all the time from people. They did applications for their parents in India or their children in India, and it's called consular processing, because the petitioner is here, but the beneficiary, the family member, is in India. So can we as lawyers help prepare them for interviews? And the answer is yes. And Attorney Rome and me have done a few of those where we've Zoomed in or Skyped, and we have done interview preps for people outside the country. So we role play, and Attorney Rome becomes the immigration officer and I become the lawyer, and we teach our clients how to answer the questions and kind of give them, you know, Attorney Rome, an idea of what questions will be asked.
Yes. Now for consular processing, the interviews, only the clients can go in the interviews. So you can't have a local lawyer go with you. We couldn't fly over to go with them. You're on your own. You're in the room faced with the United States government. And so it can be a very fear-inducing process, but it needn't be. And as Attorney Khanna says, we like to prepare you. We like to go over the kinds of questions that they will ask. And we like to help you assemble the evidence. Most of the evidence is uploaded on the Department of State website. So most of it will be pre-approved and vetted by them before they even give you the appointment. But sometimes there's an aspect of the case that may be unclear or incomplete in the eyes of the officers. So we would take great pains to prepare you well for the consular interview.
So, Attorney Rome, tell us about the new naturalization rules. I just read yesterday, you're smiling, and Ayla came up with these new rules, and we both know about it, but maybe our viewers don't. For naturalizations, meaning US citizenship, the day before or yesterday, within the last 2 days, they've changed the rules.
Yes.
So tell us about it. Did you think they're going to stay now?
Well, my smile was not a smile of happiness. It was a smile of pain, because in theory, it makes it harder to pass your civics test, your naturalization interview, and the quiz on American government. They are expanding the list of topics to be addressed.
And they also increased it from 100 to 150 questions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's going to be on our Facebook. I think this weekend,
Yes.
We're going to be posting all that information.
Among us immigration lawyers nationally, we're all texting each other and calling each other, isn't this terrible? It shouldn't be that bad. For one thing, I think the change looks worse on paper than it will be for most people. And echoing what Attorney Khanna said before, a good immigration firm will help prepare the clients for the test. Now for a naturalization interview, attorneys do go in the room and we can participate, but we can't answer for the client, of course. But we can prepare them, and
but they can get an interpreter.
Yes. But there is an English language piece for all but the most elderly applicants.
So they have to pass the English language test.
Yes.
They have to pass the civics exam, but they can still have an interpreter, and they can have us in the room as well.
Yes, that's right. In other words, the English test is separate and apart from the other questions that they will ask of the parties, of the applicant, I should say. Now, one thing I'm very interested to ask, maybe to throw this back to Mr. Sharma or Mr. Sharma. Oftentimes we find in our practice that people are thirsty for help in preparing for the naturalization exam. Many clients are afraid of it. They have low confidence in their ability to pass. And I would be very interested to hear from Milan whether Milan has, and maybe you already know, Attorney Khanna, I don't know, I apologize if you do know already. Is there a mechanism by which Milan could perhaps create a team of tutors, if you will? We have tutors for everything else, for college entrance exams, for medical
SATs.
school, SATs, LSATs, MCATs. There should be a mechanism from an organization like Milan to help people who need it.
So that's something back at you, Milan, because maybe we can talk about it and come up with some, especially in these COVID times, people are sitting at home, for tutors in different languages to help people pass the civics exam. Again, it's going to be updated. We will have new pamphlets here we can provide to people for free. You can download them from USCIS websites, but we're going to print them and have a bunch here, and anybody who needs help with that, we are happy to provide them to you. And we also provide the service. We've helped some clients prepare for this exam, and again, test them and give them the confidence to go take these interviews. So we provide that service between us, because I know Hindi and Punjabi and multiple languages, and Attorney Rome knows French and Spanish and of course English. But we have friends in the Gujarati community and many communities, and I have somebody in my office who's Gujarati. So we can bring in other people who can speak the language of the client and help them prepare for this exam.
And what might be especially interesting would be for us to train others. You need not be a lawyer
Right.
to
Prepare other
people
people.
for this.
So I think Milan can step in and take that from us. And yes,
So attorney and attorney Ram, I think you guys read our mind. Actually, we were thinking the same way, but we thought let us start because we are already doing this session for the New York consulate to help our community on the Indian passport. But this is a new edition. So thank you so much. And definitely we will talk offline. We will have this session more to help our community.
after this.
Great.
We had a lot of questions about EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5 visas. People who don't know all these are specialty visas. EB5, everybody knows, is the investor visa. You have to do $1 million of investment and you can get green card. But a lot of clients are calling us about EB1 visa. So we do want to talk about that because I think we want to touch it a little bit so people are aware that, you know, we can do it. A lot of lawyers can do it. You can go anywhere you want, but tell us a little bit about the EB1 visa, Attorney Rob.
Well, the EB1 is a green card available to persons of exceptional ability in the sciences or in the arts. And in your community, this often applies to medical professionals, academics, professors of in almost any discipline.
We're currently working with a PhD from Yale.
Yes, it applies to residents in medical centers, in hospitals, and many more. It also applies, if this is of interest to anyone, it also applies to performing artists and entertainers. I had the privilege for many years of dealing with one of Pakistan's most famous singers, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, and his nephew Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
So the viewers, I do want you to know that Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan was a attorney. I found this out, and I don't know why he didn't tell me this before. He sits in my office every day, and I hear this Pakistani Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan music, and I turn to him and I'm like, where is this music coming from? I'm not playing Indian music. He's playing Fateh Ali Khan's music, and find out he's best friends with Rahat and Nusrat. Nusrat's passed away. Rahat is still his best friend. So I'm trying to get him to bring his friend to visit us here in Connecticut. Yeah. But yes, you help them get their visas.
Yes, Khan Sahib passed away in 1997, but his nephew assumed the mantle of his artistry and has done very well in India as well as Pakistan, by the way.
So that so there's multiple other visas. We're not going to talk about it. We want to take more of your questions.
In fact, going back to the EB1, we had a successful application for Rahat Fateh Ali Khan to get a U.S. green card. I suppose this is kind of confidential, but in the end, he decided
not to do it
because his life is in
Pakistan.
In Pakistan. So.
Right. Very interesting case came to me recently. So without mentioning the clients, this was a case where the client has an H-1B from state A and the client got married in state B. And now the concern is the client's spouse wants to file, who's a US citizen, a green card application for the spouse, but so the H-1B is from a different state and the marriage is in a different state. So you sometimes get these very complicated issues, but we found a solution and we are able to do an adjustment of status and a green card application for the spouse in state B. We know this is going to trigger a response from the H-1B people, right? Because they're going to go and check that the H-1B is from a different state. But we as long as the application is in process, the spouse will be in adjustment of status and there will be, we think, no issue. And if there is, we would do a change of address to state B for that person. But at this point, so there's very interesting cases that come and we have to research them and go individually and try to deal with them. So these were the main questions that came. Is there any other topic you want to raise before
I was just going to respond to something you said, Attorney Khan. Oftentimes, the most important thing is to stay in status, to
Yes.
keep it moving, if you will. And there's usually a solution if you keep it moving. If you fall out of status, then
There's a problem.
they come for
But
you.
this person would be in status as long as the adjustment of status application is filed and in process,
That's right.
even if he or she loses her H-1B status from the other state, that adjustment of status and the I-130 would keep the application alive.
That's right.
So we figured that out and we proceeded with it. I know there was a couple of questions that are coming live, and we do want to let Mr. Hari Sharma ask us these questions, and then we'll open it up to the public. Questions that were not pre-sent to us, we have to be careful how we answer them because we cannot give legal advice on Zoom without doing, consults. But what we are going to do today is, if you have a question and we are not able to answer it because we don't have enough facts, because you were on this meeting through Milan, normally we charge for a consult. We are giving 15 minutes of free consults to anybody who was on this meeting and has specific issues. They can call our office and we will give you our website and number, everything in the end. And we'll give you 15-minute consult with both of us and go through your specific facts so that we can help you, because sometimes on these social platforms, we are not legally allowed or able to give you direct advice. And sometimes we need more facts in a case, so we can speak more generally. But Mr. Hari Sharma, you had some questions coming live. You just sent me a message.
Thank you so much, Attorney Rachna Khanna. Actually, I was doing multitasking because I was going in my other social media platform like Facebook and YouTube and collecting the questions as well as in our chat. So I would like to go with the sequence the way I have received. So here, can we expect to see a movement in the priority date with the new administration? May I repeat the question or?
No, we understand the question. It's a loaded question. This is a loaded question. So the priority dates you're talking about, I'm guessing the EB2 or H1B filing, right? For people with employment. So that's, yeah. So
I think it's impossible to have a crystal ball. I will say generally, and we don't put politics into any of this public discussion, but generally, most of us immigration lawyers are encouraged that the incoming administration will be quite favorable to immigration generally. And so the question of priority dates may be affected by the overall support for a rational immigration system that the new administration has indicated it will have. President-elect Biden has issued a very detailed statement of what his immigration policies are going to be. Of course, he doesn't work alone. As you know, when you apply for naturalization, we have 3 branches of government and they're all involved in immigration matters in one way or another. So he cannot act by executive order alone. He must have support from the Congress. Priority dates have nothing to do with legislation. They are determined by other factors, policy factors. And as I said, it's impossible to have a crystal ball and to predict with any certainty what's going to happen. However, I think we agree, Attorney Khanna, that our general impression is that good times are ahead, and how that will affect, your particular case if you're waiting for a visa. For a visa number from the visa bulletin, we can't say. We just have to check it on a,
right.
on a
So
monthly
I have
basis.
all the visa bulletins in front of me, so I'm sure all of you can log in and see. But at this point, we don't have a way of really determining. Like October, it moved really fast, but in November we didn't see much movement. Just no way of knowing. It depends on how many applications they get, not just in the H-1B category, but in the family category, because it's a total visa that goes into the mix, and there's no way for us to know what they have for the total visas.
Thank you so much, Attorney Ram, and thank you so much, Attorney Rachna Khanna. Now I would like to go with the second question, which I have received here. And can you file for L to H conversion after 5 years on L1 and stay after that in the country? Is there a cool off period required where you need to move out of the country and then file H1?
So, okay,
May
I'm
I
going
go
to
with the
question because I have it in writing, because this is a very interesting question. So the question is, the applicant has an L visa and he wants to know if he can convert it to an H visa after 5 years on an L1. Now, remember, you have only 6 years for your total application. So if you've already done a 5-year on your LV visa and you convert it to an H, you will only have 1 year left on it in this country. So if you don't leave and you stay here, yes, you can convert, but you're going to have the H visa for 1 year because you used your 5 years. Now, if you went back to India for 365 days or 1 year, then that's what you're calling the cooling off period. And then you did the conversion to an H1. Then the 6th year, yes. I got a little message from a little birdie who does all my H1B work to remind to say it's still subject to the lottery system. So the conversion is still subject to the lottery system. I missed that. Thank you, my friend. She works for me and does all my H1B work. So thank you. But what we have to make clear is, so the 5 + 1, you only have 1 year left. Now you go back to your host country, you will get the full 6 years. Again, you're still subject to the lottery. So you're back in the lottery system, but if you get the lottery and you get it, you will have the full 6-year term. So understand it's 5 + 1 if you're L1 to H1 within the country. If you leave the country and you get the H1, you get the full 6 years, but you are in the lottery system.
Thank you, Attorney Rachna Khanna. And again, thank you, Attorney Ram. Now I'm going with the next question. Do we expect the H1B wages to be revised?
So some of you might know, but I'm going to say that again. The H1 visas, recently they moved it to a wage analysis. And so the high wage earners on the H1B visas are going to get an advantage over the low wage earners. And the question is this going to be revised? Now, this was done in the Trump administration. And I think, as you all know, that administration wants to bring in highly skilled workers, but they want to bring the one, and I'm going to repeat, its wage is determined versus the lottery system. The old system was a lottery system. The new system is wage-based. We think the Biden administration is going to make some changes to the immigration policies and go back to the old immigration policies. We are not sure if they are going to discontinue with the wage system completely. I don't think there's any evidence you've read the whole Biden immigration, Attorney Rome. Is there any mention of wage-based? But we think it's going to become a little more relaxed, even if it doesn't go. And lawsuits have been filed against this. So there's multiple lawsuits. So we'll have to wait and see how the courts rule, if this is even legally allowed. So it's still an open-ended question. I think the Biden administration is going to do some changes. The courts are going to do some changes. As soon as we hear news, we have a Facebook and we post every week, every Friday and every Tuesday. We call it Rome Tuesday, and Friday is Rachna's Friday. We do 2 posts on our Facebook and we keep updating the latest information from AILA and all the lawsuits. So if you just keep reading what we are posting, you will get the latest information. Like we do two posts a week. Do
Yes.
we have any information on the Biden policy on this?
Well, I don't think it addresses it with particularity, but Senate Bill 386 is a hotly contested, highly politicized piece of legislation. I think it is likely to be treated by the Congress, by the Senate, and later by the Congress as a standalone piece of legislation. In other words, everyone knows that our country needs comprehensive immigration reform. The system is broken, and we need a new law to modernize the law. And Senate Bill 386 it concerns Indians especially, but it is a discrete piece of legislation that will probably be looked at carefully, even if comprehensive immigration reform is for another day. It's very unlikely that Congress will address comprehensive immigration reform right away in January, but I think the Senate Bill 386 will be revived. In short answer to your question, caller, it will likely be looked at again very early in the new term.
So we do expect some changes, but like I said, it's in litigation with the courts. The administration is changing. We'll keep you posted as we hear about it, but there is no clear direction about any of it.
It does have bipartisan support
Yes.
from key legislators, and there's every indication that it is certainly the hottest topic in immigration right now, we think.
Mr. Sharma, any other question?
Thank you so much. And on top of that, I just wanted to share, because as you have mentioned that the latest updates are available on Friday. So I shared all the viewers the URL, or so you can log in the URL. You can find the website, Facebook details in order to. So I'm continuing that. And before the next question is that Bill S-386 come up in the new Congress. When will final election date for EB2 India become current for those with priority date in 2011? May I repeat the question?
Yeah, no, Attorney Rome is going to talk a little bit about the bill, and I will talk about the priority dates.
Yeah, well, I think we answered the question about the bill. Senate Bill 386 will come back in some form. We believe early in the new Congress, and that would be our short answer to that. There's no question that it is the most important piece of legislation concerning immigration in the Congress right now. I mean, it's not before the Congress now, but it will be. It will come back.
So the next question was about the EB2 filing dates. So currently we've logged in, and the EB2 final action dates are 22nd September 2009, and the filing for EB2 dates is 15th May 2011. Now, as to whether these dates are going to change, once again, it's not one particular visa that changes. It's a mix of a lot of things that have to happen for these dates to move. And no immigration lawyer can tell you, and if they're telling you they know it, then they are God. Because only USCIS knows. They have the data as to how many applications came in every year in each category, and that's what causes these dates to shuffle. So I don't think anybody will have that answer. We just go by predictions, and as of now, we thought dates were going to move again in November, and they didn't. So the prediction was that just like October, things would move in November, and it didn't. So I honestly don't think can answer that question.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you so much. And next question, I think I can answer. That is, I am not able to renew my daughter's passport from the new BFS website. So, this is discussion today for US immigration. Certainly, very soon we are going to set up another Zoom call with the New York Consulate. So today we are taking only US immigration. And now the next question is, what is the current processing timeline for I-495 for immediate relatives category? My parents from India, they came on B2 visa and got their I-130 approved.
Yes, 45.
Okay. You mean 485? You did an adjustment of status?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Okay, so we've run into the same issue. I have friends all over the country. We are on Facebook chats and multiple programs. And normally, when you did an adjustment of status application, not just for parents, for anybody, we received a notice, within 30 days. Is the question about notice or the whole application?
I think this question is from AP. Someone has joined. AP, is this your question?
Yes, this is me. So yeah, it's about the
getting notice, or is your question about how long it's going to take for the application?
how long it's going to take for the application. So we received the notice.
Has it been
And,
accepted and approved?
it is still pending. It's still in processing state.
Mhm. How long has it been since the date of your receipt notice?
So it was received in mid-September.
Mhm. All right.
And the thing is, like, their B2 visa, 180 days have passed, and we did file 485 before that. But the question is, like, can they travel while it's still pending approval? And if not, what is the processing timeline?
Get advance approval. Very good question. Now, the general rule is that if your application for adjustment of status is pending, you cannot travel without permission. Now, did you file a Form I-131 request for permission to travel along with your
No,
I-40? Mhm.
we haven't.
Did you use a law firm or did you do it yourselves?
We did it ourselves.
Okay. Well, there is a form, and you can look at the form online, perhaps, Form I-131, and you'll get a feel for what it does. What it does is
Mhm.
it is a request to USCIS for permission to travel during the pendency of the adjustment of status application. Now, these things are not routinely granted, but it is available if you have a reason. Now, the reason has to be substantial. It can't be just because you want to and substantial. There has to be either a business purpose or
Some important reason,
some
right?
family reason of some importance. I mean, I don't think, for example, a wedding or a birthday is enough. It has to
Understood.
be
Yep.
something, perhaps medical or something like that. So what would have been ideal is if you had filed that along with your I-485. Now that it's done and you can't do that anymore, you should still, if it's important to travel, you should still file a Form I-131 at this point, and it will be adjudicated separately, but they will at least give you a look, and if the reason is compelling, they will perhaps grant it.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks for that. And what would be the processing timeline? So
For the I-485 or for the
485
I-130?
is now taking almost 2 years.
Yeah, it used to be within a year, we could safely say you'll have an adjudication. With COVID, everything has changed because, I-485 applications require an interview, and in most cases. And so because the USCIS field offices have been closed to the public by and large for most of the COVID period, everything is backlogged. So we just got a couple of interview notices in today, and they've been pending for 18 months.
Yeah, I have a lot of my friends who are saying the same thing, that it used to take about 12 months to get a parent's interview. Now it's 18 to 24 months is the expected time period.
Yeah. So if presumably if your parents are here for a long period of time, they really want to be here, they don't need to go back. And you should just stay with that unless you get the travel document, the travel permission, which we were just mentioning. So I'm sorry if that's bad news, but it's just the way it is. Everything is slowed down by COVID. Things will perhaps open up, but
It's unpredictable.
the public, yes, it's unpredictable. The public health is more important than the efficiency of USCIS, I think. So we just have to, with the rest of the world, try and get through this.
So right now they're just still doing backlog from this year. They haven't even started doing the active applications from what I understand. They haven't even gotten to the new. They're just catching up on stuff that was in their system that was canceled.
Yes.
And that's what they're at. They're just doing all the canceled interviews right now. No new interviews have been given out.
What you want to make sure is that everything is complete. Did you receive any kind of request for additional evidence or anything of that nature? AP? Hello?
Looks like that.
Yeah, no, we haven't received any like request for evidence or nothing. So it's still in processing.
All right. Well, if by chance you do receive a request for additional evidence, be sure to respond timely. They can deny an application
Just for
outright
that.
just for not
Yeah.
responding timely.
And if the evidence is not presented properly, they'll just throw your application out. So if you didn't use an attorney to do the paperwork, you have to be very diligent, because not only the timeliness, but the way the evidence has to be presented, there's a lot of nuances to it. You have to be careful. If you get an RFE, you respond one, timely, two, with the right format, the right evidence. We are seeing denials happening just because not applicable is not clicked on.
Right.
that.
We're seeing denials where, so let's say you have two names. You have your first name and your family name, and there's a block on the application for middle name, right? What we call in America middle names. And we saw an application rejected because instead of writing none or not applicable on the middle name block, they just left it blank. And the case was rejected. So it's
yeah.
there are a lot of traps for the unwary.
So next
So
question.
I think that we have a couple of questions because we are running out of time, but certainly, is it possible we can cover a few more minutes because due to our technical interruption?
Yeah, we started.
So the next question, okay, as for EAD visa extension processing get delayed from USCIS and any way to expedite, no one want to lose work authorization job. So this is related to the H4 EAD visa extension processing, which is delayed.
So I just got a message from my staff who works, and she said 131, the travel document is a 4 to 5 month wait at this point. So she double checked and went and looked at the wait time, and it's 4 to 5 months. So the next question is on EAD. Do we know how long the wait time is on the EAD? I'm just double checking that. So if you can show financial hardship for an H4 EAD, then they will try to process it a little bit faster. So this person who is having this issue, they can contact us and we can try to guide them and help them. It is a 5 to 7 month wait period. But if you don't get the EAD on time, you can be out of work. So
right.
we've
had a few cases
right.
this month with exactly this problem. It's looked at on a case-by-case basis. The statutory criteria for expediting it sets a very high bar. It can't just be that, oh, I need to go to my job next
Right.
week. You must show extreme financial hardship, not just mere financial hardship or inconvenience. So it's a very high bar. Attorney Khan, I don't know if we should, in this forum, we do have some ways to expedite, some strategies, I would say, that we use, but we really can't give them out in this forum. But a good immigration attorney will have some strategies to apply to get an expedite. It is not simple, and it is not routinely granted to expedite an EAD, but there are some strategies.
There's ways that can be pushed, and no matter where you are, I know your audience is from all over different states. So if you find a good immigration lawyer where you are, if you know one through your work, and reach out to them, and they will help you get get it expedited. There are ways to try to do it, we think. Okay, next question, Haribhai.
Thank you, Dr. Now this is the last question because then we have to so I have applied N400 in March 2020. I have not heard anything from USCIS except the received notice. How are they processing such application? This is related to the
naturalization N400.
Oh, so somebody has applied for an N400, a naturalization?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and you have not heard from the, well, 4 months is nothing. It's going to take at
No,
least
March. I applied in the March
March of when?
2020.
March of
this
2020.
year.
This year?
This year. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're not going to hear from them this soon.
Not yet.
No, you're not going to hear from them this soon. They have receipt, right? They've received
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I no, it's going to be, I would say another, what, this has been 6 months. It's going to take 12 months at least for N400s with COVID, and could be longer. Normal time is 9 to 12 months.
Yes.
With COVID, we think it's going to go 12 to 14 months.
Yes.
And you're not going to hear from them for a while right now.
Yeah, but my green card will expire in May, actually, May 2021. So I have to apply the green card again, and by 6 months.
Sir, that's a very good question. You probably must apply for to renew the green card. That would be the better practice. Yes.
Okay, but before 6 months I cannot apply. So November end I can apply, because in the May end it will expire. So I can apply the November end. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong.
So he has to apply he has to be within a 6 month window to reapply.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. So yes, if your green card is good till May of next year, you can apply for a renewal of the green card in November, which is, we are in November right now. So you can apply for the green card renewal, and we do recommend you do that because the naturalization can take longer than 12 months right now.
Yes.
Okay, so the green card will come in 6 months. So it will come before May. You think that renewal will happen before May? Or it will take more than that also, more than 6 months it may take?
No, it's
green card should come.
Green card should come, yes.
Within 6 months. So before it is expired, before it expires, it come. It may come.
Should be.
But keep your application with you in case your green card is expired and you've applied for the new green card. Keep that you'll have a receipt. So keep that with you as proof, so that the only thing is you can't leave the country with an expired green card. You have
but there is some stamping they do on the passport. There is some form so that you can extend for 1 year.
That's correct. That's correct. And remember, your green card, your status as a lawful permanent resident is for life at this point. Your card is just evidence of the status. So you're absolutely right. You can get a stamp in your passport to travel if you need to. So that's a good relieve some pressure on you. But remember, if you are a lawful permanent resident, that's for life. The card is just evidence of it. It's just like a driver's license. You don't have to reapply for a driver's license. You just renew it. You renew it for the card, right?
So did you understand that the green card never expires? The green card, actually, you always have that status never expires. Let me clarify. The green card expires as a card, but your status of a green card, that's for life. So you have that status, but the card is expired and you need to just renew the card.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I think that's all. Now, I would like to, we are truly grateful, our attorney, Rachna Khanna and Thomas Ram, for bringing such a synergy, keeping discussion on track, and really great question covering current immigration issue. And again, this program was not possible without our such audience. So I would like to thank you, our audience, joining us on various social media like Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom, also sharing your questions. And as Attorney Rachna Khanna and Attorney Ram said that I have provided, so you guys can give the reference of today meeting ID which you have, and that you will get those advice 15. Now I would like to request our respected Milan Chairman Suresh Sharma to please conclude the today's session as well as thank you note. Suresh
So
Sharma.
people, when you email us, make sure if you're emailing it through the website or calling, please give the reference. And like Haribhai said, we are not opening this for free for everybody, but only the participants here. So you will have to save the number of the ID and the password from today, so that we will know that you were in this meeting, and we will give you a 15-minute consult for free at no charge to try to help you address if we could not address your questions today. And they have the website and Facebook page, right? Because the Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn is all on the website. And the website is www.rachnakhannalaw.com. And my email directly to the office is rkhanna@rachnakhannalaw.com. But you can email me right through the website as well.
I wanted to maybe add that immigration law is federal law, and we can act on behalf of clients in any of the 50 states or in any country. In fact, it is not a local state law. So wherever you may reside, our firm or any immigration firm can help address your issue.
Great.
Well, thank you.
So now yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Khanna and Attorney Ram, for your very meaningful and informative, points, which basically you have discussed with all these tricky questions, which were coming up to you. And especially, probably we'll be hearing, something good from our new, president-elect, because he is promising something to ease, as far as the immigration part is concerned. But, for the audience and with their questions, I think, they will be carrying home something which is very much clear in understanding these, topics like H-1 visa or immigration, and then, deportations, basically the other, naturalizations. I heard about that there's some new rules also coming up, for the naturalization. So these information is very valuable, and we are very much, thankful to you for your time, for being with us. And I hope the audience definitely will go back home, carrying something more clear and having more wisdom about all these tricky subjects. With this, I'm also for putting up, all this, and back again to Hari Sharma.
Have our all right. Looks like that there is a pause. So thank you so much again, and I would like to request our attorney Rachna Khanna and attorney Ram to conclude today's discussion.
So I think we want to thank everybody who joined us. We will be teaming up with Milan and doing these kind of Zoom informative sessions routinely. I've spoken to Mr. Hari Sharma, and if we feel that there was some new changes, that a lot of changes has happened, we will present this forum again. And I think we are already talking about doing another one in January, once the new administration has set in, to inform everybody with the changes that are happening. So we look forward to seeing all of you. Please share with your friends and let them know. And we are here to help anybody who needs help. And as Attorney Rome said, it's federal law. It doesn't matter which state you live in. Immigration can be done. We can help anybody in any state because it is not governed by state law. Attorney Rome, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I feel very privileged to have been invited to participate by Attorney Khanna and by Milan. And I enjoyed the conversations, and I hope we can continue them. There will be changes upcoming. If there's one thing certain, it's that there will be change. Change will be a constant in the next year or so, and we look forward to being a force for reasonable solutions to the immigration issues that the country faces. The immigrant communities are so vital to this nation, and I think the tone will be set in the coming year for improvements in the system.
Thank you so much. And these are like kind of a vaccine for the changes. So we will continue to provide the vaccine. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and have a good night.
Good night.
And thank you so much.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye.